Hi everybody, I'm Charlie, and this is On Air, my Beatles collection. Well, it's been a busy week, and it's going to continue to be a busy week for Beatles and Beatles-related products coming into the marketplace. One thing I received earlier in the week, but it went to another address. I have two different mailing addresses, and unfortunately it was delivered to the other one, so I don't have physical access to that yet. That was Ringo Rama from Friday Music on yellow vinyl. I saw fellow YouTuber Joe Mayo did a show on it the other day. He got the grape color, otherwise known as purple, and he did a show on the purple version. I got the yellow one. I passed on the purple one because the wait was just too long. I ordered them back in, I think in March, and because of that, I wasn't sure what address I would be at when it was delivered, and the address got changed back and forth by me a couple of times, and finally I gave up on the purple grape one, but the yellow one was finally delivered. It just was delivered to the address I'm not physically at the moment, so I can't do a show on that one. But today I received another album from Friday Music, another Ringo album, and that was Live at Soundstage. Now I left it in the shrink because it's not really a shrink wrap; it's a plastic bag, so it's not sealed. And I left it in there just to show you that it wasn't sealed. It had no hype stickers or anything. It has just a barcode. Pretty heavy bag, but I'll be changing that out anyway. So here it is without the shiny poly bag. Ringo Starr live at Soundstage. And this is, unlike most of Ringo's tours, this one is all Beatles and or Ringo solo songs. So, 14 of them. So, let's just talk about it a little bit before I show it to you. This band, some of the guys in this band, or one of them in particular, Greg Bissonette, is still Ringo's drummer, and Greg also has done work, as a member of Jeff Lynne LO. He's done work with David Lee Roth. He's even the drummer for Spinal Tap. And his brother Matt, his younger brother, also did work with Jeff Lynne LO. Also did work with David Lee Roth. He also is in Elton John's band, and he's a bass player. Greg is a drummer. They've done a lot of work together. I think they're, they're a couple of years apart. I think they're 2 or 3 years apart, Greg being the older brother. So they're both part of this Ringo and the Roundheads. This is not Ringo and the All-Star Band. This is Ringo and the Roundheads. And basically the leader, besides Ringo, was Mark Hudson. And they did a lot of work together. They wrote a lot of songs together. They recorded a lot of stuff together. They did have a falling out at some point in time, and I think Mark Hudson had an opportunity to do a TV series, and he asked Ringo kind of late in the game if he could back out of one of the All-Star tours. I think it was probably around 2007, and some have said that wasn't the real reason, but for whatever reason, they broke up. Ringo's Liverpool 8 album was all songs, managed by Mark Hudson. I believe he co-wrote all the songs. He actually produced and mixed all the songs. And when they had their breakup, if you will, Ringo had everything reproduced. So I guess there was some bad blood. I've seen Mark Hudson show up at Beatle fests for Beatle fans, and he still talks Beatles, and he's obviously still a big fan of the Beatles and a fan of Ringo, but for one reason or another, and who knows what other things might have happened, they're not buddies, and they're not working together anymore. But Mark was pretty much the stage manager for this particular brand of Ringo tours. So it's Ringo and the Roundheads. This was recorded live in Waukegan, Illinois, in 2005. So I checked on the set list for 2005 for Ringo and the Roundheads, and it was pretty much this set list, with 1 or 2 exceptions. and I'll talk about that in a minute. Also in this band are playing guitar is a guy named Steve Dudas. As far as I know, he hasn't worked with anybody, like the others that I mentioned before. Gary Burr, who was the guy who replaced Vince Gill in Pure Prairie League when Vince left Pure Prairie League. Most of his fame has been as a songwriter, and he's written a lot of songs you probably know. And then Mark Hart is in this band. Mark was in Supertramp. He was a guitarist in Crowded House. These are accomplished guys. Anyway, it's an interesting album. It's an interesting group of musicians. I'll show you the track list now, and you'll see if you can spot the wrong name. If you want to pause that, I'll read it to you anyway. With a little help from my friends, and it don't come easy. In a segue without taking a break in between. Octopus's Garden, Choose Love, I Want to Be Your Man, Don't Pass Me By, I'm the Greatest, and here's where, if you didn't catch the typo or the wrong name, the last track on side one is Memphis On Your Mind. The actual name of that song is Memphis In Your Mind, as in go to Memphis in your mind. Like you were dreaming you're there, you're wishing you were there. So Memphis On Your Mind is not the name of the song, but there it is, boldly printed on the back and on the label. So they clearly don't know what they're doing at Friday Music. Anyway, Photograph, side 2, Never Without You, Back Off Boogaloo. I believe that's spelled wrong too. It says Bugalloo. I thought that was Boogaloo, Boogalloo. Boys, Yellow Submarine, both words spelled right. Act Naturally, and With a Little Help from My Friends. Now this is not a bootleg. Friday Music is a repackager, a re-releaser. In many cases, in terms of Ringo stuff, they've done color vinyl. I think they've done some picture vinyl, and it's all with Ringo's blessing. In a couple of cases, like Ringo Rama, and I believe were live at Soundstage, these were not originally released on vinyl. They were only on CD. I know that's true for Ringo Rama. I believe that's true for live at Soundstage as well. So let's open it up. It is a gatefold. So that's what the gatefold looks like. I won't read that all to you, but obviously this panel here is the song list, and the other side is the band members and what I just pretty much told you. It doesn't tell you all this background of those players. I told you that, but it's not in the notes. Just their names and what they play. So, this was originally produced by Mark Hudson and Ringo, and then it was reproduced or reissue produced by a guy named Joe Ragoso. The left side of the jacket does not open, so there's no booklet or anything like that. And then when you take the record out, did I mention it's color vinyl? When you take it out, it's in a very heavy poly sleeve, which I will remove and put it in a rice paper and poly sleeve almost immediately. I'll slide it out without touching the record. And there it is. There's a close-up on the label. Here you'll see, if you look close enough, you'll see Memphis On Your Mind as the last track. I'm going to hold it up to the light, and I can see through it, and it's marbled. You can't. I don't think you can. If I put my thumbs behind it, I don't think you can see my thumbs. No, I can't see them. It is translucent, but it needs quite a bit of light to be translucent, and it has pretty heavy black marbling in it, which you can kind of see. And I don't know if you can see it. I guess you could probably see a little bit there. The disc looks like it's nice and flat. I haven't put it on the turntable yet. I don't see any obvious flaws. I don't see any scratches. I don't see any scuffs. I don't see any dust. So it looks nice. So they're pretty much split 50-50. I think there's, let's see, I think there's, well, maybe there's 7 of each. Let's take a look. So with a little help from my friends, obviously, is Beatles. Don't Come Easy is Ringo. Octopus's Garden is Beatles. Choose Love is Ringo. So we're 2 for 2. I Want to Be Your Man, Beatles. Don't Pass Me By, Beatles. So now we're 4-2. I'm the Greatest, Ringo, 4-3. Memphis in Your Mind, 4-4. Photograph, that's obviously Ringo, so 4-5. Never Without You, Ringo, 4-6. Back Off Boogaloo, Ringo, 4-7. Boys, 5-7. Yellow Submarine, 6-7. Act Naturally, 7-7. And then with a little help from my friends as the closer as well as the opener. So basically, if you count that once, 7 and 7, 14 songs. So this is not the All-Star Band. This is Ringo and the Roundheads, who do not get credit on the album cover. It's just Ringo Starr live at Soundstage. It's the same thing on the spine here. So Friday Music gets the credit there. Friday Music gets credit up here. So anyway, it's a nice album. I believe there may be another color for this too. This they're calling burgundy. So there's a bunch of this stuff coming now. You probably know that last Friday, October 24th, Ringo released his first 4 albums. Not on Friday Music, but his first 4 albums on color vinyl. I showed you one of them. I only bought one of those 4. That was the Ringo album. That was also on red vinyl. They called that Molten Lava. It was red vinyl, very much like this one. And the others were Sentimental Journey, Beaucoup Blues, and Goodnight Vienna. I didn't really care enough about any of those other albums to want to spring for another copy. The ones that I have, I've very rarely played. I've had the same one for all those years. Maybe Goodnight Vienna I played a little bit more. The Ringo album I wore out. That was a great album. So I never bought a second copy of it. I have it on CD, but I never bought a second copy. I was hoping we'd get a special, deluxe edition, super deluxe edition box set for its anniversary, 50th anniversary. That came and went. I don't know if I'll ever get a box. Maybe there's just not enough alternate material from that point in time to flesh out a box, but I wish there was. The extended version of 6 O'Clock, written by Paul and Linda, that would have been nice. That wound up on the Goodnight Vienna, re-release for whatever reason. But anyway, I needed a copy of Ringo, so I saw red vinyl and I said, good time to upgrade my Ringo. This live at Soundstage I do not even have on CD, so this is my first time around with this. I'm happy to have it. Ringo Rama I have on CD, and now I have yellow vinyl that I can't get my hands on. But anyway, I will soon. And I considered buying the grape color Ringo Rama, but it was $70. Even on Amazon, it was $70. And it was $70 from Friday Music. So I passed on that, but I got the yellow vinyl, and I wasn't going to buy both. So anyway, I got the yellow. So coming up in the next few days, we have the color vinyl single re-release of A Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul with the replica of the original picture sleeve. It's been released before on red vinyl. This one is on yellow vinyl. We also on Friday the release of Happy Christmas, John and Yoko, with again a reproduction of the original sleeve. This one will be green, as was the original. So not a different color coming around on that one. Also last Friday was the release date for Julian Lennon's current EP called Because, and that has not arrived yet. That is not even shipped yet. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but last Friday was the release date. I've been able to listen to it, on my Apple Music account. It's great, actually. There's only 4 songs on it. It's classic Julian, and one of the songs, the last one, sounds remarkably like John Lennon, which that wouldn't be the first time that Julian reminded people of his dad and his vocals. But anyway, we'll talk about that when it arrives. And then next week, we got the Wings book coming out on Tuesday. And on Friday is the release date for the Wings compilation, the 3 LP sort of Wings Greatest Hits. That's not the name of it, but it's just called Wings. But you know what I mean. It's a compilation of Wings hits on 3 albums. And there's a color vinyl version of that, 3 different colors for the 3 different discs. There's also a black vinyl version of that and a CD version. And there's also a Blu-ray, a standalone Blu-ray for that, which is what I'm most excited about on that release. And then, coming up in November, we got Ringo has another oddity, the Stop and Smell the Roses liquid vinyl. That'll be interesting. And then, of course, Beatles Anthology 4, plus the reissue of the whole anthology series, plus the video on Disney Plus of Beatles Anthology with a new episode, a 9th episode that covers the period when they were working on Real Love and Free as a Bird, and I guess now and then, there might be some now and then video in there too. So anyway, there's a lot of Beatles action coming up, and there's already been a bunch up till this date, so you'll probably see more of me than you want to, because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming in, a lot of videos. So anyway, I wanted to show you this. This will hold us until some of those other things show up, and we'll be doing some shows on those. So if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and you'll get notice on all of these videos as they come up, and you'll get to see a bunch of product that you may or may not want to shell out your money for, but you might want to see them close up, unboxing, and so on. And also, if you're not a member of my Facebook page, also called My Beatles Collection, stop over there and take a look at that. That is a private group. We have almost 6,000 members now, but you do have to answer a few questions, one of which is you have to agree not to sell on there. Selling is like the #1 source of scams on Facebook. People trying to sell stuff that they don't physically even have possession of. You'll post a picture, I'll post a picture of this, and somebody else will try to sell it to you, even though they don't physically own it. So anyway, there's no selling allowed on my Facebook page, but other than that, it's a great place to share your collection, and it's a great place to see mine. It's more static than a video. It's usually pictures, but I have thousands of items that I can post, and I try to post something every day or two. And also, when I do one of these videos, I almost always, well, not almost, I always share it to the Facebook page, and that helps remind people to take a look at the YouTube channel. So you get a direct link to the video on the Facebook post, and sometimes that gets me more new members, and sometimes it just reminds the almost 6,000 members of the Facebook group to take a look at the video. So anyway, please do all that, and hopefully I'll see you come back here soon, and we'll be talking about some of this new stuff that I just mentioned. So that's it for now. Thanks. Bye.